composition on the ground, actually, and Waffle will be their lone DPS on defense.
Interesting part here is where CLG isn't deciding to go down the route of perhaps running a Hydration on defensive Pharah. They're playing it more by the book with this triple tank. Meanwhile, you look at Immortals. What better person to look at than Agilities? With what he's been doing for them recently, you cannot discount his ability to get early picks on Roadhog. And right now, he's going straight up the gut with Nomi. Looking for the blind hook, almost connects with it. And Immortals slowly but surely pushing on to the point, trying to win the poke war, and with Hydration getting poked down heavily, it is a slight edge to Immortals, though so far no one has fallen yet on either team.
They hit a sleep dart early on the Reinhardt, and I thought the hook was going to come in there, but Agilities didn't see him because you can grab a laying Reinhardt and probably eliminate him with your team. So far, though, Waffle-tastic has held the high ground very well as this Soldier 76. They've had very little pressure onto him, but the tank battle does finally go down. Shiny and Nomi both out of this fight.
It's a nano-boosted Zarya here, which not only is lying hyped, get kills as a charge up Zarya, it's also going to power up his grab early. He's going to use the grab to seal this out. Gets 2 people into it, and those 2 people can say goodnight. Immediately dispatched as a result of that grab, and Immortals, slowly but surely, now in a great position to finish out this first point.
And they're still posturing through the archway, but I don't think there's any real reason that they should be coming in right now. And Hyped has always been a great Zarya. He shines on that character more than any other, and I always love when teams will just throw the boost on his Zarya. As you mentioned, it is just exchanging ultimates. Her ability to get damage and then they get that grab up is what sealed that fight out. Now the brawl will continue in the streets. The Earth Shatter whips right into Nomi's shield.
Nomi's shield withstands the Earth Tremors as Immortals moves forward. Hyped has been at 100% charge here, Hex, for what feels like the last 2 minutes. He almost has another Graviton. This has been a great Zarya performance by Hyped here so far, as Immortals holding on to quite an ultimate cache, and now they're going to push it forward. Graviton still in reserve. Nomi has fallen down, but if they push too far in, they could be on the receiving end of a Graviton. Still, though, Immortals getting poked down really heavily. Hydration takes down 2, and the counter push from CLG gives them some degree of stability. And Hex, both teams now have Graviton at the ready.
Both teams have nearly everything except for that Earth Shatter. I don't understand. It's twice now that they've slept Shiny, and who's the Reinhardt, so the shield is going to be down. And twice now, Immortals has been unable to capitalize on that sleep. I mean, stop sleeping them if you're not going to do anything about it. But as you mentioned, most ults are going to be up for this next fight. Immortals with a slight advantage, but they grab them the way in.
Graviton comes in, Hyped holding on to his grab, doesn't want to throw it into a Diva, and will connect on the Graviton, pulls in 3, Agilities there with the whole hog, gets Waffle-tastic immediately, but there's the Earth Shatter coming in from Shiny, knocks down 2, fall through not there though as Immortals, tanky, pushing through, and should take this fight rather cleanly in the end.
Both Gravitons got countered by the sound barrier, which was nice on both sides, but Agilities had gotten a kill before that sound barrier was able to come out, so that was the one tipping point that they needed. Shiny, with a partial redemption, gets someone with the Earth Shatter, but it's still one that maybe he would like back there. Nomi will have his own Earth Shatter up for the next one. It's going to be interesting to see where this boost goes, because Athan's holding on to it.
I'm telling you right now, this very well could be Nomi time. If there's ever a time to land a good Earth Shatter, it's in this situation with the ultimates as they are. Not a lot is going to be in his way aside from Shiny holding up the shield. Early Graviton comes in, pulls in 3, Miso dives in. There's the Earth Shatter and it hits nothing but shield. Not what Nomi was looking for. Waffle in over the top, Tac Visor is up, no more barrier can stand in his way, and they're going to nano boost to make this even cleaner. Waffle cleaning up, and this is going to be a fully one-team fight for CLG.
This has been an ultimate showdown every single time in every one of these fights. There's been so many grabs so far already, and Hyped will have another for this next fight. I think what you want to look for is the follow-through here, and Agilities would be a great target there. Graviton and Whole Hog has always worked well together, but he's going to need some protection to be able to get as close to that clump of meat and get all the damage in as possible. So really far forward position here. I like this from CLG, because even if it goes bad right about here, you might be able to get back and put some pressure on the card. But they're just going to retreat.
We get everyone's game of Ultimate Chicken here. Graviton, VD Matrix, and oh, they hook the Diva back, then Graviton to set that up. It's a nice setup here by Agilities, followed up by Hyped, and it opens up Grim to get 1 kill immediately with the rest of CLG in a terrible position.
Yet another Shatter goes directly into his shield. It has been non-discriminatory. Both of these Reinhardts are just not finding what they're looking for. They will boost Nomi though, so he's just going to swing the hammer all the way through, trying to get some, though it's not the powerful Reinhardt boost that it used to be when he had speed, but a couple people caught out in the corner back here. Still a bit of a brawl as another sleep comes down.
CLG is fighting this back, and this has been crazy non-stop action for most of this fight. Self-destruct gonna come off, and while it goes on, Nomi gets 2 in the back. Nomi finding what he needs to, as Immortals will reinforce on this payload. It's actually kind of nutty how quick momentum swapped from both sides there, Hex, multiple times in that fight, but it's Immortals. Standing tall as the dust clears, they should be able to bring this in the second and start their assault on third.
Ethan just hasn't really missed a dart so far today. He's been sleeping everyone who comes within his radius there, and he's going to be close to another boost. Immortals on track to have a game-winning window right now as they're just really loaded for bear. Another grab will be up. I think you may wait for agilities to get there because Pulse Bomb's almost ready.
The Graviton is up. Again, doesn't want to donate into the waiting maw of a D.Va, so Hyped has to be careful. He can't just lob it out indiscriminately. Still, Immortals posturing for position here. They have to hurry, though, because Miso's about to have a grab of his own. Nomi charges right in. Hyped right behind. Holds on to the grab. There's no more mech in play. The door is open for the grab, and there it is. 2 people dropped right in, and Grim is there for the follow-through.
That's some cleanup there that Hype got credit for. I think the Pulse Bomb went in during some of that. They are going to throw down boosts back and forth. That's Shiny who's going to be turning into Shiny as he gets boosted in there. Not the biggest targets, and Earthshatter goes down again. And I think he got 1 or 2, but Hype is a one-man army.
It was an Earthshatter there. We tried to be a hero, but there was no one there to support. Either way, Waffle trying to have some semblance of stability here for CLG and kind of threw the tack visor into the wind. It wasn't a good tack visor to begin with and got literally nothing. Now he's going to be Superman, going to the back, and gets shot full of kryptonite, virtue of Grim Reality.
There's finally an Earthshatter that hits as they distracted the Reinhardt on the ground. Got 2 who are coming in from the stairs. The self-destruct will go off. Does only get Verbo, though, who gets himself caught out. They're trying to bring this back. That's 1 kill, but there's so much on the ground still for Immortals.
Immortals will punch this one in. 1 minute and 3 seconds left, and that 3 seconds is incredibly important for those who aren't fully aware of how mechanics work. If it was 59 seconds, no matter how CLG might complete, they would get a minute. Now CLG needs to complete with at least a little bit of time left on the clock if they want to have an attack in extra rounds, which is something they will need if they want to win this match.
That was one of the most action-packed Kings I've ever seen. Slasher, what'd you see there?
Well, triple tank versus triple tank. Hyped is getting the better of Miso and the 2 Zaryas right now, just getting more grabs and more effective grabs, also keeping his charge up higher and getting more kills. A lot of the difference in this matchup is hydration and them having a D.Va heat and him trying to have it to control this matchup and the difference. He hasn't been able to, I don't think, so far. And then agility switching up into Tracer to kind of go against the triple tank, I think, has worked out well for them.
They kind of, I don't know what the word is. I was going to say that I didn't like the D.Va, but Ethan kept nano boosting Grim Reality's 76, and the D.Va kind of got a lot of value on a few occasions. I think if Ethan had just spent the entire match nano boosting Hype, they probably would have finished that in like 3 minutes or 4 minutes rather. Because there were so many fights where I think Hype was just full energy and hydration was literally just feeding him charge.
It was an interesting game because you can argue one of 2 things there, which is that both teams traded off on having really good team fights and cool plays, which did make it very action-packed, or you could say that both teams were sloppy at points, and the truth is almost certainly a mix of both, but either way, that was easily one of the most entertaining games on King's Row I think I've watched in a long time, so I'm just excited to see what these teams are going to show us when we get into round number 2 here as they swap off on attack and defense.
I think the one thing to note here is Ethan playing Zen on defense and 2-2-2 not opting to start off with Zen. So a little risky, but if they know CLG is going to play this triple tank, you don't have to worry so much about David not.
Attackers incoming.
Well, Immortals holding firm here on the defense. Ethan will certainly be a big part of it. The cool thing for him and Zen is that he doesn't have to worry about getting dove on that much with the setup that CLG is running, so I think the Zen is a pretty good pick here. There's a nice sleep early on to hurt the defense of Immortals. Grim gets a rude awakening, so there's an opportunity here for CLG as they move forward as Grim gets hit by that fire strike. CLG, early pick off, early follow through off of that good sleep dart by Shake, and CLG now in a great position.
I saw that from my perspective, which was way up in the sky, and I saw them colliding 2 seconds before it happened. It was like a car crash, inevitable in its terrible violence at the end, and going down is brutal, because now Waffle is up above. He's just going to be raining in all of this damage. No one is there to block it. Hype trying to bring this back, but that is about as quick as an offense as you could ask for counter logic.
credit where credit is due the shake, where sure, you had extra fall through there, but that sleep dart directly led to Grim Reality dying, and Grim Reality being dead did not leave Immortals with the power they needed to deal with that push. So CLG, it's a great opening. They're gonna get momentum into second, and for Immortals, really gonna have to look towards the Big Bang combo here, Hex, I think, if they want to bring this back.
It seems to be their best path to really stabilize here, but they're going to have a boost of their own on the side of the offense. A Shake is getting there very quickly. Now the question is, where do they end up putting it? Very likely on probably, I guess they could give it to their own Zarya. It's going to be an interesting notion to see where Shake wants to invest his ultimate.
Immortals right now taking the time and going in. Hyped almost has that built up, but there's the Earth Shatter coming in. iShiny gives up his life, but it knocks down 3, and it's 3 swift kills from the offensive CLG as Immortals is just getting bullied right now on the CLG attack.
No one's playing defense on Kings today. The good thing is Hyped and Agility still have their ultimates up. Now this is always a tricky point of if they can get back here on time. It's going to matter of if they all spawn in time for Verbo to taxi them out. They're right around the corner. They are going to try to contest this, I believe. Yes, they get on the cart.
Hyped right now looking for the Graviton. It connects, pulls in 3, but will the fall 3 be there? Immortals dives in even deeper with the Transcendence, but they've yet to get any kills. CLG holding strong, and they pick up 4 as soon as the Transcendence falls off. CLG's Ball of Death here has created incredible matchup problems for Immortals.
Didn't see exactly where Agilities was able to throw that bomb or if the supports just countered it. The grab was decent enough. It got a lot of people on the carts. Now they're not going to have a whole lot here. Nomi will try to be the hero as an Earthshatter comes up. Agilities has gone off the Tracer, going to go to add another tank, and Roadhog is a really good answer to a lot of tanks.
This is so problematic right now for Immortals. You don't often see teams hold for 5 minutes here, and they lose Nomi immediately. Picked off to start out this fight. Immortals getting pushed back. They have no shield tank. They have no cover. Agilities ends up falling, and CLG is continuing this relentless assault. Hex. Miso at 100% energy, piling on, and oh, they're not even able to touch the payload. What a disaster for Immortals.
I don't even have anything to add. This is where I just say, Flame, what do you think?
Grim Reality got abused that match. He wound up, they tried to retake first, they staggered him. He's a 76, they staggered him like a baby diva, killed him, and then the second fight, same thing happens, and then third fight, I mean, I say fights, but third slaughter was actually Shake hitting massive nades. I don't think the Zenyatta paid off at all. There were like the trans came out on that second objective, and I think Shake hit a nade. Then last point he hit a nade on the Roadhog and on the Reinhardt, and then wound up sleeping Athan in spawn, and then they just hydration cleaned him up like 5 minutes. That's without bonus time. If they had gotten them into like 1 second territory, this would be a 6-minute offense for the side of CLG. Like, this could have been even worse than it is. That was probably the fastest I've ever seen the map finish.
The bottom line for me is that I've seen Starks put up better fights at weddings than I saw come out of the Immortals defense there. Rod, anything to add?
No, that beating was pretty good, and they need almost the exact same offense that they had last time, maybe even a little bit better for them to have pretty much any chance.
It's been a good OMM, I'll say that. We've had some games, there's no doubt about that. Agility is going to be very crucial to this offense capturing first point. Entry kills, maybe trying to go blind through the hotel with a hook. Does look like they're just taking a peek through there, but very cognizant of this offense is CLG. They're not going to give him any easy targets for hooks.
Well, IMT going to have to make up for time and then some. They need to get this on the first attack and then roll forward in a crazy overtime push. Already down to 35 seconds. Nomi struggling to live, but will get healed up as Hyped and Agilities come in off the back, and Agilities taking matters into his own hands. This is decisive for Immortals, and they should be able to get this payload moving.
Yeah, able to just really bully them off the point. Most people are alive on the backside for CLG, but no one's going to be in position to really get back in here. Miso thinks about poking, and then he gets hooked and deleted instead, so that might add another bit of momentum here as the tanks for Immortals push forward. Hype gets slept, glowing in his sleep as he's got supercharged. Nomi's going to keep him alive, and Agilities looks for the hook. Now we're getting into overtime, have to stay on the payload.
Well, we are in the overtime rush here, and Immortals, this is where they can go on their redemption tour. This is where they can find a way back into this game, but only if they win every single fight from here on out. We have seen crazy overtime pushes, but this is going to have to be a truly epic one if Immortals wants to come back in. It's a nice hook to start things out. They're not able to fall through, but Waffle-tastic on the flank. Nano Visor from behind. And all CLG is looking for is to get Immortals off the payload, and that Earth Shatter by iShiny should seal the deal. It's a very good fight from CLG here, and Immortals will be ended right here.
Beautiful counter shatter. Nomi puts it into the shield yet again. A grab will seal it out. That's where that cart will stop for the Immortals' second round offense. And finally, just a moment to take a breath.
iShiny definitely getting the better end of these Reinhardt battles, and Shake's sleep darts have been so good, and his Anonades have been so good. Like, I don't know, he's definitely earning his spot here, as that was something else. I mean, they had all the momentum in the world on the side of Immortals, but just a really well placed attack visor at the end, and then the Earth Shatter block. It was just...
Shake was pretty much the undisputed, in my opinion anyway, the undisputed best part of those complexity teams. So seeing him really shine on this team is not all of that surprising, but the manner in which he's done it has been explosive.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why he's on the team now. Like, that's what he's expected to do.
Right.
That's why they brought him in. That makes this team, which likes to run triple tank, and if you're going to run Ana, and he probably is the most well-rounded support player in America, but his Ana is also incredible. So in this lineup, it's really sick for them to play on. Now, really, Immortals had their opportunity to try to make this a game, and they won the first push rather cleanly, but then they got crushed right outside of the archway. So this is going to be extremely hard. I don't see it happening, but considering what we saw in Gibraltar twice now, I guess anything is possible.
I wonder if the nano boost was meant to go on the Roadhog instead of the Reinhardt, because when the Reinhardt gets the boost, he's inclined to drop his shield and go in, and that's exactly when they got Earth Shattered. Neither here nor there, though, as the fight begins.
The fight is underway, and the journey for CLG should not be that long, though they have plenty of time to move forward and get in. They're just going to get on top point immediately, staying together as a group of tanks, and they get Nomi down immediately, and it's just well-coordinated gameplay early on. That said, they do lose Diva Mech and Mikado early on, so Immortals can still bring this back, but Immortals need to win this decisively. They don't need trade-outs here. However, Jildy's on the flank, gets slapped before he can finish Waffle. Luckily, Athan is there in the follow-through.
It's still nice. They're going to have to back out, though. Unfortunately for Hydration, well, he is going to have Mech call down at the very least. So it's time to just back out. They do have Bank to work with. The worst thing you can do in this situation for Counter Logic is start taking uneven fights or poor fights. Just know the advantage that you already have in this situation. And, you know, sometimes mistakes are going to happen. It's fine. It's just how you react to it.
Well, Immortals are going to have to hold on here for another 4 minutes. Easier said than done. Hydration, though, target number one. Early Graviton in from Hyped, sets up for 2 kills off of that early on, and that'll be enough for Immortals to hold on here, at least for one more time. But the problem that they're going to have is that they use their Graviton for that fight, which is fine, but now they have to find a way of winning the next fight where they will be significantly ult disadvantaged.
CLG has just been banking ults for the most part, and they're going to be in a pretty decent position. However, there are 3 ults about to come online for Immortals, so it hasn't been that one-sided of an economy. A lot of it's just going to be about execution, and with this grab up, as long as they can get something decent with it, they should be able to mop up. Oh my god!
Oh, what an Earth Shatter in for the life, but a counter Earth Shatter! The ground is rocking, and CLG up ahead when it matters. The Graviton's gonna come in for the cleanup as Immortals finds themselves fully wiped out. Sorry, Nomi. Maybe next time.
Nomi got 4, Shiny got 5, and a beautiful counter shatter. I was not expecting it. My goodness.
Well, earthquakes sometimes happen, and sometimes they go in favor of CLG, who now only needs to go a little bit further with a little under 3 minutes left to win King's Row. CLG in a great position here, and Immortals must be flawless with little room to work with, Hex, if they want to pull this one back.
Well, the boost is up for Shake, although I think he'd rather just hit Sleep Darts. If he could just trade the ult for 2 Sleep Darts, I think he would do it. A nice charge it already is going to take down Nomi with the assistance of Shake. They do boost the Reiner to keep him alive. No one able to touch the cart, and CLG wins one of the most aggressive offensive versions.
Well, both teams are heading out to open things up. and we'll see just how this takes place. Immortals going into the courtyard, but now potentially, nope, they're not going to go for the point. They're going to dive right in. Nomi leading the way. Meanwhile, you take a look at CLG. CLG is the ones who take the inside positioning on the point. It was looking like it was going to be Immortals. Instead, CLG gets positioning. They take down Agilities, and now they get the push right back out. It's a very nice open here for CLG.
I mean, the dive comes in from Nomi, but it was right after Agilities died, and no one went with him. He just went 1v5, and it's pretty much Shiny doesn't even turn around. He blocks the doorway with his shield, and then 5 people converge on Nomi, and he goes down in short order. Interesting dive there. I think after seeing this composition, they might make some changes. Agilities will go onto the Genji, now Grim over on the Tracer.
Well, CLG certainly in great position here, and I gotta say, Miso's Zarya play has been something to behold. Constantly charged up, getting ultimate up for Graviton way more than the average for Zarya's. It's been good. But here comes the dive in from Immortals once more. Not able to do much because of the Sound Barrier. The Sound Barrier mitigates most of the damage from the dive. Both Divas gonna get D-Max, but look at that. Nomi knocking off Waffle-tastic, making that a bit of a better fight. But it's Miso with the Graviton laying the fight, pulls in 2, and at least forces out the Transcendence.
It's an okay trade, I suppose. He's still alive somehow, even though he's discorded between 5 people. Just that intimidation factor kept them away. They do get 45% off that very first one fight, so now it's going to be time for them to try to take the point back against this composition. Agilities has been the biggest factor in Immortals, whether they win or lose, in my opinion. He's that good that he can carry this team. He has Blade ready.
Agility's just singing, he's not even attacking, it's a full stealth blade, out of nowhere, in comes Agilities, 3 very quick kills. Someone has been playing Metal Gear Solid in recent times.
Agilities has abilities, and he just showed him off right there. He is really, it doesn't matter if he's on the Genji, or if he's on the Roadhog, or if he's even flexing onto one of the different hit scans. I really do believe that he's the biggest factor in this team's success and how well they play, because sometimes he has to erase mistakes for other people, and he can just hard carry this team even at this level.
Sometimes he erases mistakes, sometimes teams. And Earthshatter comes in and sets up CLG really well here, though. Shiny getting 3 kills off of that. Grim doesn't hit the Pulse Bomb, and suddenly this goes very heavily against Immortals, and they have to give up the point.
Yeah, Hydration's moved over to the Tracer, and this has been extremely back and forth. Right now, CLG is holding the point with the advantage right now, 50%. See what the kind of initiation tools they have. Both support ults up for Immortals, so they're just going to go around the backside here, try to get in and fight within their support ultimates.
Early Sound Barrier engage here from Immortals, going to be heading right into the attack visor of CLG, and it's a decent setup here for Immortals. They're going to throw the Transcend after, so both support ultimates being converged onto this team fight, but they cash it in for a clean take. More importantly, you take a look at Agility's Hex, he's going to have a Dragon Blade up for the next fight.
Yeah, very important for them too, because that next fight is going to be extremely important, as nearly 80% on the board for CLG. But that's perfect to use your support ultimates like that. Use the Sound Barrier to engage, get yourself extra healthy, then when everyone's kind of in the corners, you're still getting the Transcend off. It's 10 seconds where you have a huge advantage over the other team.
Dragon Blade is up, Agility's looking for a target, so it reflects the flashbang right in the Waffle-tastic's face. 3 kills from Immortals, and they are pulling this one right back, Hex, where now you take a look at it, they're 1 fight away from winning this round, and Agility's got to save his blade for that fight.
Grim on the Tracer has been very, very good, and I think it just fits his style of play the best, because he's also one of the 76s that will flank around on these truly ballsy flanks and get nothing done, so...
It's happening again! Or not. He doesn't pull out the blade. He could have pulled out the blade. Still holding in reserve. They get 2 kills immediately. And Agility's actually is taking part of the fight off, going off to heal. Still has the blade for finishing it off if necessary, and will do just that.
Sometimes you can go on vacation if your coworkers are just doing their jobs good enough. It's exactly what Agility's decided to do. Gets himself a little R&R because the rest of his team just chunked through it. And Immortals will take the first stage, Lijiang Tower.
That was really awkward, that ending, because Miso's Graviton got eaten, but they had Trans, so realistically they should have just been able to death ball into the Trans, not lose anybody, and then kill the Diva mech suit and then hit a grab and win the round, but somehow people split up coming through the door. I think that they were anticipating that blade just as much as you guys were, and they kind of delta split, but they were completely prepared for it, but I don't know. That was definitely their round, I think. I don't know. They let that slip, I'm pretty sure.
Let's keep the skies clear together.
Well, Immortals able to get away with one, and we do have a switch up here where despite the shenanigans he got up to in the last round, Agility's swapping off here onto the Pharah. Hydration, of course, no slouch on Pharah either. Both accomplished in their own right, and arguably advantage here the Hydration given how CLG has built their recent claim to fame. We'll see if this Pharah treats them right.
Agilities has had to develop into a good Pharah just when the meta shifted on Immortals and they didn't really have anyone to play it, and he's actually put a lot of time in it. He's gotten better over all the tournaments we've seen him play this Pharah on. Ethan goes down early, though. That's really painful.
Hydration still in the air, not really under much pressure, getting stymied a bit by the shields, but still a force. Hyped, knocked out of the Diva suit, and now Agilities versus Hydration in on the top. And both trading out rockets, neither falling here just yet, but the important thing though is that CLG won the ground war and got first control.
Yeah, ground war absolutely dominated. They were able to demech and then delete both of the tanks. I mean, losing Ethan that early means that your combo is pretty much dead. You kill half of the combo, you've killed most of it, unless there's just some really interesting plays. It's actually better to kill the Mercy, of course, than it is just the Pharah, because the Mercy can clutch and heal other people. Agility's trying to get back in here, though, and still fight over the bridge. A Pulse Bomb comes onto Shiny. He gets out of there with a nice pick from Grim.
Grim starting out the fight right. Waffle not having as much luck with his pulse bomb as Grim goes to town. 2 here so far. Getting in on the Shake, wants to prevent Shake from getting res up and will do just that. Grim showing up big on Tracer in this fight, and it should lead to Immortals retaking control.
3k for Grim, and a lot of people very hurt, which means that Ethan's going to be able to heal everyone up and get his resurrection going for the next fight. Battle of Reses will be very important here, as Shake has his too. Ideally, Reses, you're down a couple, and you get a couple kills, and you bring your team back up. But it's going to be so important to see where these Mercies position themselves, because if one of the Mercies dies, you might almost call the fight right then.
Well, Sound Bearer is out and Hydration out for blood. Not in a great position to drop the barrage here just yet, but will get the concussive blast right off. Down goes Hyped, and now looking for the kill on the Agilities. There's an air war in progress here as CLG has won most of the ground war. They should be able to retake control in a moment as... Oh, Agilities picks up 3 from that angle? Alright then. Immortals still in this fight, though they did lose control.
They just snuck capped it, though. Mikado was on the point, got it to about 80% until people came back to deal with him, and then finally the barrage comes in, people were still chasing Mikado, and they're able to get the last couple of ticks to wrestle control of this point away. Despite the 3k from Agilities, now Hydration's still back in it, and they're going to stall this out at the very least. Grim trying to do his heroics, but they just let Mikado get 90% of the point control for free, and then flipped it.
I'm still pretty amazed that Agility's got 3 kills off that barrage of all angles. Things you don't expect, but it hasn't really helped Immortals get back in on this point. CLG able to maintain their control, 70% to 39 now, and they're in a great position to win this round. They really only need one more decisive fight. Both Mercies have Resurrection, so this next fight could get rather messy if neither team is successful in assassinating that Mercy to start things out.
Well, Self-Destruct will come up over the top, forcing Immortals back. Oh my god!
The anti-air option from Miso. Hey man, if you're gonna be flying off the edge, you don't have any cover when that bomb comes looking for you. Is all I'm gonna say about that. Oh,
it's beautiful. It's just wonderful. There's no escape from that. And it's such a great option to deal with it when those the pharmacies poked around over there. They add in 3 kills on top of it, and I think we're gonna even up on Li Zhang. But hey, here comes a late res.
Late res comes in. Hydration still looking for cleanup. Has Ethan in a terrible spot. Finishes his plate, removes him from the game. And right now, CLG just mechanically outplaying. They're gonna res just to be sure, and this should be over. Grim doing his best to stall out at the very end, but it's not gonna be enough, and CLG evening up the score on the Garden.
What do you just call it? The airburst defense? I mean, there's gotta be a term for that.
Flak cannon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Hail Mary. They called it. They actually won that round without popping res the entire time. I just want to point that out. I don't think Immortals should be running Fire Mercy into CLG's Fire Mercy. I don't think it's going to bode well for them as this goes on.
They had a victory res at the end.
Yeah, that was the BM. I don't need this anymore.
I mean, the matchup, the Hydration, I don't think both of us would say can run Pharah as well, traditionally in his game. And I think they should stay away from it.
I do love the fact that we've gotten into this just era of anti-air diva defenses where it is one of the downsides, right? Where you're in the air in these open areas, you can get taken down by one good bomb. But either way, Reinhardt in play here for CLG. They're going to try and use it to bust right through, but they lose Miso immediately. It's a much better opening here for Immortals. 2 kills that open things up.
Yeah, Miso...
And Agility... Agility's just free the roam.
Yeah, he got hooked and antied really early on. There was no hope that he was going to be able to get out of that, so just a really nice hook from Agilities to start it off. Of course, combining with Athan to make sure that there's no way Miso gets out of that alive. And that catches them first point already. So really well played here, and this might go a little bit to Immortals' strengths here, as they played really well when they were able to get Azaria into the mix.
Anytime you can let Agilities go wild on Hog, it's usually a good time. I'd say this has been a slightly worse game for him overall, but he's a threat. Gets a hook early on onto Reinhardt, going there for the fall through, and Grim is doing a lot of work in the back, just keeping CLG relatively distracted as Hydration gets domed right there towards the end.
They got a triple shatter and they just let him lay on the ground while they killed everyone else. I suppose that's one way to follow up a shatter, just completely immobilize 3, then a blind charge from Nomi is able to catch a Lucio towards the end. So everything going right for Immortals this round, already nearing 40% now, and they're going to have a grab, which means they could probably hold far forward if they want to.
Well, we'll see if this grab can connect. The early pull-in of the Shiny happens, puts him out of position, and there's Hyped right there at the grab to get everyone as they try to go in as a Pulse Bomb comes in. 4 kills for Grim. Big bang to set that up. That was really excellent there, where Hyped knew they would go in to try and protect after the hook, and lands a perfect Graviton.
It was really well played by Grim, too, who was lurking around this side. If he tries to come in dead center, there's a good chance he dies trying to go in and just get that blink off. He can still take damage during that time, so he comes from the flank, just pops that sticky perfectly. This is the window, though, for CLG. They have everything up. I mean, they're going to be pushing into a not unstocked Immortals team, though.
IMT now holding back, 100% charged, Hyped here versus a Nano Soldier. Almost wins that, but not quite. Waffle takes it as he well should have, and yet Immortals fighting right back. 3 kills of their own. It's going to be up to Miso with this grab to seal things out, and yet Agilities in off the flank finds Waffle and can still help delay this out or win the fight outright.
Nomi sacrificed himself by earth shattering instead of dropping it, or instead of keeping his shield up instead of the bomb, so he died right there. Your Shatter only got a couple and they weren't able to get the cleanup. It was an interesting play. I think it was a Gambit thinking that the remainder of his team would be able to clean up the remainder of the other team. That was not the case, but still at 99%, I think Immortals is really in a position to pull back now. You don't need to feed anymore, you just need one more fight.
Immortals need to play this in a cerebral manner, where they know that they only need one more fight, they can stack up ultimates, they don't have to do anything silly, they even have a Big Bang about to be on deck. They should be able to win this if they play it right. CLG will need help from Immortals messing up if they want to take this, but either way, let's keep an eye on Hyped. They're going for the Nano Boost on the Nomi, he charges in. Hyped, trying to make the most of the distraction. The Earth Shatter comes in, doesn't appear to get much. Hyped, holds the grab, drops it, and where's Grim? The Pulse Bomb is in, and doesn't get any kills off of it.
Miso
got shielded.
Yeah, Miso shielded himself through that Pulse Bomb. Now they're going to counter it. There's a self-destruct into that grab. It ends up cleaning up a lot. Miso is fully charged here, just Ghostbuster beaming down the remainder of this Immortals team. And that was just a clutch shield from Miso there, as the big bomb was trying to come in, and it ended up just making Miso a terror.
Well, that was the fight that CLG needed to win to get themselves back in this round, and they have done just that. Now, all bets are off in regards to who might take this, but CLG in a great position. They have to win the next 3 fights, but let's see how this works out here. Waffle on the high ground, holds on to the attack visor, and Athan gets taken down by a Fire Strike early on. This is already terrible for Immortals, and they back out.
Yeah, if they go in and fight that, they're just feeding ultimates for the most part, and they still have chances now. They can come in and maybe get 2 more fights, depending on how quickly they spawn, and they're just banking up on getting another boost from Athan. We'll see where it goes. They've got good options. Any of the tanks can take this boost.
Waffle's attack visor, but he doesn't see the Agilities coming from the flank, is able to get away towards the end. Earth Shatter comes in, doesn't get much, right into the shields. But Immortals still making this fight work out. The early Whole Hog takes down D.Va, and the late Graviton seals the fight, as Immortals will push this right back. They will retake the point, and now, will there be any delay coming in from CLG? It's not looking good.
Not at all. And they boost Hype again so that he can get his Graviton during that fight. He got anti-healed and played really smart, not going in. He wanted to make sure he got just a little bit of damage to get the grab up, held himself behind the corner, tossed the grab in, closed out the map. Stage, rather.
Flame?
I mean, I think Immortals needs to just keep nanoing the Miso Zarya. It's been working out really well for them, but I mean, even that last fight, Miso was ahead. But
Wait, what? You mean CLG?
Oh, CLG, yeah. I'm backwards. I was saying that Miso was ahead in the Zarya Graviton battle there, but like that last second nano boost from Ethan actually brought hyped over the top, and then Miso wound up dying at like 95% or something, and it could have been very huge if he had gotten it quicker.
Well, Flame, you get your Genji Tracer Wish.
And we get the Fire Mercy on this stage, as opposed to what they ran before.
Well, this was the stage where we saw Secret Agent Agilities last time around, so why wouldn't they be on the Genji here again? It worked out well last time. See if it works out well this time as both teams trying up poke. Immortals slightly better positioning as they open up, and Agility's just slowly creeping his way around the back right now and stops iShiny from getting out. Still 5 versus 5, one team down to tank, one team down to support. Agility's still looking for targets in the back, and it's a very even fight here so far despite how long it's gone.
Anyone who's outside of this house is just getting rained rockets upon from Hydration. He's had really nice positioning back here, does not necessarily want to go in and box himself into the house right away, and he's just been getting a lot of early and late damage on Agility. He's going to find himself out in the middle of nowhere, and Waffle will clean him up. So first control will go to CLG. The combo undealt with, just sitting in the back, giving themselves escapes so that if they get jumped on, they can just go over the edge and come back in later.
Well, it is interesting how it's turned out. The first time around this map, it was Zarya's all the way. Now, it is Diva's all the way, and you take a look at Hydration, built up a barrage very quickly from that first attack, and I just expect him to come around the side and look for this barrage, and that's exactly what he's doing. Moving in, not an obvious barrage target here just yet, but the mere threat of it pushes Immortals back.
Well, they will barrage onto Nomi, so that's one of their big tanks down. It's going to be very difficult for them to eat through damage. Hype finds himself a little bit out of position back here. He's 1v3. He's going to get desuited and deleted very early on. And just no way to really find great entry there. The threat of this Pharmacy combo has really slowed down the aggression and the ability of Immortals to find the angle they want to enter into this. And once you're holding the point, it's so hard. You just have to walk through rockets to get in here.
Well, for those who want to see Secret Agent Agilities once more, I apologize. He is on the Tracer now, and Immortals going to look for different approaches. Oh, Agilities just takes a rocket to the teeth. Done.
And they jump
immediately.
Out. They back out immediately. This is one of the things that a Pharmacy does to Immortals. It makes them get off their best composition. So now Grim has to play 76 because they need a little more help. Ethan's going to be on Zen because they need to Discord part of this combo, and I don't think that's his best hero either. So it really forces Immortals into a suboptimal position.
Nomi finds Shake early on here, will remove the threat of a res. Agility's piling on, so it's a much cleaner engage this time around for Immortals. Agility's rolling around to the back. They should be able to finish this out. It's just a matter of how long Miso can stall, which shouldn't be very long given that he was just demeched and eliminated.
Yeah, Mikado back in here, but now with the Discord Orb, anyone who comes in here is just not going to be long for the world. 92% though already puts them in position to win this stage with one more fight and take us to a decisive stage 5 here. Shake died first in that last fight. As long as that doesn't happen again, CLG has a pretty good chance at this.
Hydration coming in over the top once more, and this is somewhat smart from Agilities and how he's approaching that. I don't think he can really stay and contest it too much, but he does want to be there to potentially get a pick off on the Hydration if he falls down. Either way, not going to work out here. 5 versus 5 as Verbo sends Mikado into the abyss. IMT holding this one out. Hydration, I feel like, was a little bit too split off from the rest of his team.
Well, the Resurrection will come in, and they will Sound Barrier post-Resurrection. So now the kills are coming in quick for CLG as they end up with 3.
CLG able to turn this one back around off of that res, so perhaps the game plan there is just die in the point, get resed, and go from there. Either way, they retake, and at 98%, it's now very tough for Immortals to get back in. Delay is coming in from Agilities, but they're gonna need more. And overtime, fading away, but they get there just in time. Hyped, crosses the threshold, but Waffletastic is feasting at the Immortals buffet right now. 2 early kills. Grim, perhaps trying to be the savior, but has both Winston and Diva in his face, mitigating that tack visor. It make it difficult for him to bring it back in, but yet Hyped doing work as baby Diva. This is not over here just yet.
The Resurrection will come in though and undo all of that good work, and despite Immortals looking like they were going to bring it back, there's now a full force of CLG on the point. Verbo's been alive the entire time on this stall. His life will finally be put to an end by Shiny. Hydration now back into the mix, and Nomi just a toe off the point. He was going down anyway. We're going to
And that
stage
also
5.
was not any sort of get back on the point moment. He was booped right off, so that was out of his control. He really wanted to stay on the point.
Shake gets another res at the end. Is really what saved them there. I mean, he doesn't get that. He was almost close to dead. I think that they ended up losing that point.
It's not even that he was able to get it, it's that he did it in 2 fights. It was like 20 seconds. He went from 0 to full. That was actually insane.
Well, this brings us to a 5th and final round, and this is match point for CLG. Should they find a way of taking this round here on the control center, that's going to be it. They will dispatch Immortals and win their first set of the group stage. So a lot at stake here for both teams when you know that even losing just one game could be the difference between going into the playoff stage in the upper bracket or slumming it up in the lower.
We do have both teams running their tank-heavy compositions. Reinhardt's on the field. Shield battles will commence in the small corridors here, as both teams just trying to get as much damage in. The first pick in these fights can be so crucial. Like, charge comes in, both Reinhardt's down. Nomi gives his life for it, though.
Nomi does give his life. Agilities tries to make it better by dashing through 6 people, but it's still a fight that is certainly going the way of CLG, and CLG very good at these death ball multi-tank setups, and it's giving Immortals fits right now in how they're handling it. Agilities not really able to find low targets, struggling to get pickoffs, and though he's built up a lot of damage, he ends up falling in the end.
Shiny is just playing really gutsy right now. He knows he's just trusting the rest of his team. He jumped down in the middle between a Tracer and a Genji, which as a Reinhardt is generally a death sentence. But right in his back is the D.Va to keep him alive, then here comes his Zarya to keep him alive as well. And they're playing in this kind of aggressive and somewhat spread out style when Shiny wants to go in, and they're just really supporting each other.
Beautiful pulse bomb by Grim Reality to open this up for Immortals. They're trying to strike right back here. Hydration demeched, every kill going their way. And now they're in a great position to push us forward. Waffle-tastic does have attack visor, but popping in here would be questionable. No, he's going for it. Nano boost in on him, trying to pull it back, and the gamble pays off. He gets 2 kills from it in an uneven number situation, and this gives CLG the punching power they need to reestablish. And Nomi, that charge, admirable, but no matter what, you're getting shot in the back.
One of the benefits of holding far forward like this is if you lose people this far forward, which is where they lost Shiny last time, that you can pull a move that they just did on the point, knowing that it's going to buy you the 5 seconds you need for your team to reinforce back to it, because it takes the aggressing team so much longer to get to the point, but by the time your guys are respawned, it's going to be a 6v6 again, which is one of the huge benefits of holding that far forward. Immortals in a great position to win the next fight. They've got everything.
Well, Graviton is going to come in here from Miso, does connect. Agility's doing damage into the backline while that goes on, and ends up with 3 kills despite the Graviton being on the bulk of his team. More importantly, Hype's got to save his Graviton, so Agility's doing the work necessary for Immortals to get back in on this point. And good for Immortals because they don't have much breathing room here, Hex. 72% for CLG before it was all said and done.
It is good for them, though, they were able to save a couple of the ultimates. They didn't have to throw everything in there because they come out winning that fight and with the ultimate advantage. And it's not just a pulse bomb advantage or something like that, though they will have that. The important part is, of course, Graviton and Earthshatter. They've got them both, and Big Bang could be on the menu.
Hype drops a Graviton in a safe spot towards left, not Eden, pulls in 3. And Immortals not able to finish off the kills. They were all really low, but they all get away. Hydration will get demeched, so that is the one prize they get. And now Immortals looking to take advantage while cooldowns might be down, and it's successful. They get 2 kills off it, and Agilities can feast and build up another Dragon Blade.
It's a little interesting that Grim didn't throw his pulse bomb into that Graviton. I thought it might have gotten eaten, but he didn't even use it. So they're very, very aware of their economy right now and trying to save them for fight after fight, and good for them. It's worked out very well for them. I'd be surprised if we don't see another Aethan boost onto Hyped at some point so that they can stagger these giant ultimates fight after fight. They have to win 2 to 3 more.
Oh, I think you called it right there. The real question is if Agilities can avoid Ice Shiny's Earth Shatter. He will be getting this nano boost in all certainty, will be able to go into Dragon Blade. And there it is, moving in, immediately removes Shake, and the Earth Shatter from Nomi makes it all too easy for Agilities here. Gets the cleanup he's looking for. And the problem there for CLG is they threw some good money after that.
Yeah.
They had Attack Visor and Earth Shatter, and they got nothing. So now Immortals on the verge of staying alive here and forcing a map 3.
80% last fight for CLG incoming, very likely last fight of this match, granted the percentages that each are at. Sound barriers will be out for both sides here, so if no Lucio goes down, we're going to see a long extended fight.
CLG looking to put this one away. Sound barrier will be the key. Mikado needs to drop it, and does. Everyone sound barriered. Both teams trading off. Grim, though, building up a pulse bomb, looking for the bang to seal the game. Gets the connection, and gets the boom. Shake is out of it. 5 versus 5, both teams down to Ana.
Yeah, both Ana's out of it. Miso somehow still alive with a fraction of health, and he's able to still stay alive. He's regenerating HP now, and that grab does not get everyone. Where is Miso? Because I can't believe he's still alive. He's going to have Graviton up now, too. He keeps Mikado alive. He got out with like 5 HP.
This is scary now for Immortals, because not only is Miso charged up and ready to go, he also has the Graviton up and in reserve. This could be bad. Hyped, do you have a miracle eat in your arsenal here? He swapped up to a D.Va, and there's a Graviton. Will not get eaten. Miso coming around the flank and charged up. He is his own fall through as he gets down Verbo, and CLG doing well here. 4 versus 4, but they have control of the point, and if they are able to hold it for a little bit longer, they will eliminate Immortals.
Pulse Bomb came in, but it wasn't enough. The shielding's still there, and it's just, I cannot believe that this all hinges on Miso, who stayed alive with 4